Hello, family. How are you? It's Teresa here with another video in the Holidays and Holy Days series. If you hadn't had a chance to see the most recent one, it's, I believe it was the 25th of May on Caesar's calendar of fake time. And this holiday was called Memorial Day. So it was a lot of information embedded in that video. If you want to check it out and let me know what you think about that. Just sharing some thoughts here, right? So today will be a little more succinct, the video. Today, the holiday that I would like to discuss with you is called Father's Day. Now, this is, I believe, the third Sunday of the month of June on Caesar's calendar. And it's the day that the government says we should honor our father and, show him how much we love him. And gee, how do we do that? I don't know. It's a good thing that government's here to tell me, how to express my emotions and how to relate to another human being, especially to my own father. It's a really good thing the government is here to illustrate for me or help me figure out how I can best express the honor and the love that I have for my father. Yeah, what do we do for Father's Day? Let's see. If you can think of one of the more popular gifts, because all the Grandparents' Day, the Mother's Day, the Father's Day, all this stuff, they all revolve around buying gifts for people, right? So think of the gift that is oftentimes given to men on this day they call Father's Day. And what is that? A tie. Now, what is a tie? Some folks just think of it as an article of clothing. But if anybody's ever worn a tie, they can attest to the fact that it's very constricting on your throat. This is your air passage. This is your throat chakra. This is the place where your voice resides, right? Your vocal cords and your voice box, right? In this area here. And they bring that tie all the way up and make it nice and snug so that you participate in a ritual to silence yourself. This tie also symbolizes a noose. So you tie it in the same way that a noose, the knot in a noose is tied. And you string it up around your neck and go to work for the man, right? Go take your briefcase and go to the office. It was a movie in the 1950s. No, sorry, it was a TV show. A TV show in the 1950s. I believe it was the 50s. It could have been the 60s. And it was called Father Knows Best. And this is just silly in and of itself because father, like mother, like child, like any one of us down here in the human skin suit, we're just learning. So what we think we know is to be the best today, it could change tomorrow. It could turn out that 20 years from now we look back and we go, gee, I didn't know anything back then, or if only I had known then what I know now, right? How many of us over the age of, say, 20 have been able to relate to that? So just like to say that anybody knows best is just silly, but I don't know what else you would expect from the television programming device. But anyhow, I just caught a couple of brief snippets from this television show, and I just it's just ridiculous. This guy, he gets up and he puts his tie on, right, his suit and tie, and he goes out the door with his briefcase, and nobody in the house, and therefore you would assume the audience, right, because you're viewing things from the perspective of the characters of the TV show. No one really knows, like, where this guy goes to work every day. Who does he work for? What is his role? What is the overall objective of the business that employs him? Does he go to work for Monsanto? Or maybe he's employed with, one of the military industrial complex businesses, and, he's playing his little role in the organization to create a complex of industries that wage illegal wars of aggression all over the planet and destroy life. Or is he just working for your regular old, suit and tie organization, going to work for someone else, like for their corporation or their business, instead of following his own volition? Like, he's just ticking the blocks, right? He's just graduate from high school, get your diploma from your Marxist indoctrination camp, and after that you go, to university and get your bachelor's degree. That's 4 more years of indoctrination, and then another 2 years on top of that to get your graduate's or your master's degree, provided that you don't change your major at some point along the way. But let's just say, if you changed your major a couple of times, that's more time you spend in the indoctrination camp. So what do you really know at the end of that university training? I don't know. I went to university for 24 years, and the only thing I know is that I know nothing. It's that I'm learning each and every day as I go. And just because I can memorize and regurgitate some information out of a textbook that's written by another individual who has an ulterior motive or a particular mindset, ideology. So does Father really know best because he went and got his college degree, so that he doesn't have to be the blue collar worker? He's the white collar worker, but he's a slave nonetheless. Just another cog in the wheel of that which the system churns out. But we're meant to think that Father knows best, right? Wouldn't it, like, a little more a little more honesty into the mix would probably say Father doesn't really have all the answers, but he's doing the best he can with what he has. And he loves you, and he's doing his best to provide for you, provide a roof overhead and food on the table. He's doing his best to provide a divine masculine role in the household so that all the children and the spouse feel protected. That wouldn't really make a good TV show, though, I guess, because it wouldn't really involve too much programming. It would seem that the programs don't really contain a lot of elements of the truth. But anyhow, that's what this guy did in the show. This guy in the show, he put on this tie every day and he went to work. And like, this tie represents a noose around your neck. I mean, if anybody's ever worn a tie, they can attest to this. I mean, it's constricting of your airflow. And the knot on the tie is similar to the knot you'd make on a noose. And so it's very symbolic, very ritual kind of stuff going on there, as usual. And that's what they have us buy for our fathers on Father's Day, is another tie. So, and then for those of us who say, those children that want to buy a tie for their father, if they don't have their own job and their own source of income, which they don't, like if they're living at home and they want to, if you think about it, what is the age that your father is going to work at this white collar job? It's usually by the time you're, somewhere from toddler or infant, right, baby, all the way up until maybe, I don't know, until maybe age 18. And then by that point, your dad is either getting ready to retire or approaching the age of no longer working and therefore no longer needing this tie. So, let's say the 15-year-old or the 13-year-old wants to buy their father a tie for Father's Day. So like that in and of itself is unknowingly, unwittingly, that is us basically saying, here, Father, participate in this ritual that cuts off your voice and silences your dissent and ritualizes a noose around your neck. And you know what? I don't even have my own money to buy that for you. So can you give me $5 or $10 or I don't know how much a tie costs. But with the idea being that the kid is doesn't have an income of his own, so he or she needs to ask Dad for the money to buy him a gift. So if you just like kind of look at those things, that's sort of like lays the framework for the ridiculousness of this particular holiday, because all the holidays are ridiculous, but this one, each one is unique in its own way. So the bottom line is our fathers, they deserve love every day. They're human beings. Every human being deserves love. I don't need a day. I don't need a holiday to say that my mother or my father deserves love and respect and honor. Each one of us deserves that. And our fathers, no matter how awful that you think they were, no matter how terrible of a father they were, maybe they ran out on you and they didn't pay any child support, maybe you grew up in abject poverty, maybe your dad just cut off all ties with you emotionally and you never had any father figure in your life. Even all that aside, your father gave you life. Life is a precious gift, and if nothing else, you can honor your father for having given you life. I don't know, family, what do you think? Do we need to buy consumer items? Do we need to just take this one day that the government says, because that's contrived? That's not genuine. That's not of your own volition. you're doing something because somebody told you that, hey, it's this day, so you need to do this. And let's just say didn't know anything about the tie thing, and you want to go buy a noose, a symbolic noose for your dad, right? Well, buy it on some other day. Don't do it on this one day. See, that's the point of the holidays. It's like they set aside a day, and they say, this is part of the culture, culture, CULT, cult. Add a URE, culture. This is part of the culture. It's part of the tradition. We're supposed to, wear this outfit and eat this food and sing these songs and participate in these activities and buy these specific things and say these specific words. Where's the free will? I'm going to leave it with you, family. Just, that's plenty, I think. I hope this video, like all the videos I do, is a blessing to you. I encourage each and every one of my beautiful family to use your free will to think for yourselves, to discern, to question, whether we want to participate in that which is contrived, or rather do we prefer to take actions of our own volition, to make up our own minds and make up our own rituals, right? Thank you, family. Thank you for taking the time. I hope this has been a blessing to you. And I look forward to sharing my next. Namaste. Ciao for now.